Hey there, ladies and gentlemen. 'Tis I, Michael A. Grimm, aka Multi-Voice Reviewer. I have many voices, but one opinion. And welcome. This will be the beginning of Multi-Voice-Oween Universal Monster-thon. And I know, I'm dressing up as Van Helsing, and I know some of you are saying, why is my vest not zipped? Well, here's the thing. I haven't worn this outfit in a long time, and, well, let's just say that temptation over donuts and fried chicken and potato chips, not that good. I mean, last time I wore this vest, it was so tight. Now I know how those women who wear corsets feels. But this time I'm going to be dressing up as Van Helsing because this is my review for the day. I'm going to review Van Helsing. So, one thing I've heard a long time ago, according to the Bram Stoker's novel, the character Van Helsing was Bram Stoker's first name because his name, Bram, was short for Abraham. So pretty much that's what he based the character. He based the character from himself. But ever since the but one thing I had to say, ever since Dark Universe failed on monster remakes. Yeah, I mean those Dark Universe movies are not doing that good. I mean, I'm going to talk about some of them later. But I know they're trying to do a remake, trying to bring out the horror in the Universal monsters, but just don't get me started with The Mummy with Tom Cruise. I'm going to mention about that in one of my reviews. But of course, one thing I'm really glad about, Universal theme park making a Universal Monster Halloween night. That's right. At least Universal Studios is celebrating Halloween with creating a theme park with the Universal Monsters involved. Which I gotta say, it's about damn time. Although I kind of remember when I was a kid, Monsters Broadway hosted by Beetlejuice. I mean, seriously, why is Beetlejuice hosting? I mean, I never thought of him as a Universal. I mean, he belongs to Warner Brothers, but I guess Universal and Warner Brothers made a deal. But besides that, one thing I also remembered, Stephen Sommers from the Mummy movies. Ever since Steven made those Mummy movies, he wanted to make a movie about he wanted to make a theatrical movie involving the famous monster hunter. But before he did that movie, one thing he did was this. He decided to make an animated prequel movie, but it has nothing to do with Dracula or Frankenstein or the Wolfman. But it's an animated movie starring, of course, Hugh Jackman himself. In this one, London's London assignment. This one it kind of involves Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Yeah, that's right, Mr. Hyde. And he was trying to what he's trying to do is he's killing prostitutes so he can steal their youth in order to bring back the beauty of Queen Elizabeth. Now, I know how some of you are thinking. I mean, if you ever take history like I did, if you ever saw Queen Elizabeth when she was really young, well, here you go. Know what I'm saying? I mean, I look at the picture and I'm like, hello, Vicky. And of course, my thoughts about Jenna Coleman. Wow. Dang. I know, I still love Jenna Coleman. But anyway, and a little known fact, I heard that Queen Victoria had many admirers when she was young. Charles Dickens was one of them, until she married her second cousin, who is Prince Albert. But enough about the history. Let's get to this, shall we? You see, Dr. Jekyll, aka Mr. Hyde, was from trying to get all the use from the prostitutes. And when Van Helsing found him, he saved Queen Victoria, and she finally got back to old, saying that famous line, "We are not amused." Although in reality, the Queen of Victoria never said that. In real life, she's mostly amused, but she never said it in the third person, saying "we are not amused." She never says that. But ever since this animated video, that's when we get to the movie Van Helsing. Now, what Van Helsing is supposed to do, him and Carl, the friar. Yeah, his buddy Carl from the animated movie is also in this movie. And all they had to do is to go to Transylvania to deal with Richard Roxburgh's Dracula. Yeah, Dracula. And he also is trying to protect one of the member of the Valerian family, named Anna Valerius by Kate Beckinsale. Huh. That's kind of interesting. I mean, Kate Beckinsale? I mean, after playing a badass werewolf hunter vampire character in Underworld, now she becomes a helpless damsel in Van Helsing? What are the odds? I think I like her better as this character than this. But that's just my opinion. I mean, that Kate Beckinsale, whew, she is something. But of course, it turns out they did do a backstory where Dracula is he wants they want that monster's life so he can have help from his Dracula's brides. And also trying to bring back their Dracula's vampire babies. Yeah, use Frankenstein monster's life to bring their babies back to life. With a little help of that assistant named Igor the Hunchback. Yeah. Now, of course, there is the werewolf. Yeah, the werewolf involved, but it turns out he is Falcon Valeria, Anna's brother. Until they finally realize that Carl, his buddy, he figured out that the only way to kill the vampire, because everybody tried everything to kill Dracula, but he is an unstoppable vampire who cannot be killed. Until Carl figured out that the only way to kill Dracula is to become our monster hunting hero into a werewolf. So Falcon, who became a werewolf, bit Van Helsing and made him become a werewolf. And after that, now one thing I also remembered in the movie, Dracula kept going on about his past. You know, that's one thing about Hugh Jackman. Hugh Jackman always played a character who forgets about his past, but goes through his journey trying to help jog his memory. But now his background is more of a MacGuffin. It's not exactly important to the main story. And then after killing Dracula, and Anna Valerian got the serum to help cure him, turn him back to normal. But sadly, she died during the process. But now her family rest in peace, because it turns out the Valerian family will never rest in peace until Dracula is dead. So now their souls are stuck as ghosts. They're forever damned. And that's Van Helsing for you. Now, I love the movie so much. When I heard about that they made a video game adaptation, and when I had my first PlayStation 2, I finally got this. And I played that game non-stop. I mean, I mastered this baby. I beat through the levels, and I gone through easy, easy, normal, and hard. I pretty much beat the whole game. I mean, you're talking to the video game Van Helsing master here. Oh, and a little known fact: if you, I mean, this game is a lot like Castlevania. And if you ever look real close on one of the games, there is, after you defeat Mariska, one of the Dracula's bride, and when you go to the library, you will find a Castlevania book about the Belmont family. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Yeah, that's right. It looks like this game's trying to connect Castlevania with Van Helsing. And of course, he's called Gabriel Van Helsing. What's up with that? But also, this game is also for Xbox. And also, Game Boy Advance with their Game Boy Advance style. Yeah, who'd have thunk it? Those game systems. And then after that, I remember that they also did a comic book from Dark Horse, and what they made is this Dark Horse Van Helsing Beneath the Rue Morgue. Huh. Van Helsing getting involved in one of Edgar Allan Poe's stories, Murder the Rue Morgue? I guess he might be beating up Ape Man. But of course, ever since they made this movie Van Helsing, sadly people wanted a remake and all, but sadly it never happened. Too bad too. I would have enjoyed the sequel. But come to think of it, if they did do the sequel, one thing I remember that Universal's really good at is making crossovers. Would have been cool if they did a crossover with Van Helsing and the Mummy. Seeing good old Rick O'Connell and Van Helsing teaming together to deal with a mummy, with along with other monsters. But there was a certain comic book they did I didn't really care about, and is this. Zenoscope Grim Fairy Tales Van Helsing. Grimm's Fairy Tales Van Helsing vs. Dracula, the Zenoscope version. Yeah, they just took the title Grim Fairy Tales and make their version of Van Helsing. Now, that's one problem I do have about comic books. I hate comic books where it has women looking kind of risque. I mean, wearing short skirts, fishnet stockings, and really short skirts that you can pretty much look up their skirts, and wearing these busty corsets where it looks kind of buxom. I hate that. I hate comic books that has that. Ugh. But now lately there is a new Van Helsing game here. I mean, here it is. The Van Helsing quest-based game by Neocore. Yeah, and now I heard that there is now having a I mean, unlike the Dracula series I heard before, there's also a series of Van Helsing, and this Van Helsing is Van Helsing the Syfy series. Yeah, and also, believe it or not, Van Helsing will be battling against a female Dracula? Wow. A female Van Helsing and a female Dracula. somewhere out there, there's going to be a fan made being turned on about this. I know I am. Well, all in all, the pacing is a little slow in the movie, but it gets pretty good. And now, to my opinion, the animated movie was pretty good. The movie was pretty awesome, but the video game was way, way awesome than anything. Well, that is my review of Van Helsing. I know I should have talked more about it, but due to certain time and such, so if any of you like this review of Van Helsing, please leave a comment down below, hit like and subscribe for more reviews. And for those of you who are wondering what's my next review is going to be, now, the reason why, now, here's one thing you should know. Now, I wanted to do a Universal Monster-thon, so here's a little something for you to know. You see, I have VHSs. Since I don't have a DVD collection of Universal Classic Monster movies, at least I have VHSs. So I'm going to be reviewing Dracula, Frankenstein, the Wolfman, the Mummy, Creature of the Black Lagoon, and probably end it with Beetlejuice. I know, ever since Universal Monster they had Beetlejuice as a host, so I wanted to revisit my Beetlejuice. So stay tuned. Now, even though I don't have a DVD of all the monsters, but I do have one DVD in my collection. Now, I cannot review it for you guys. I'm going to let Dracula review it on my next review. So, he's been looking forward to talk about the Bela Lugosi version, and believe it or not, there's also a Spanish version too. But that's all going to be in the next Universal Monster-thon. So for those of you who likes this review so far, please leave a comment down below, hit like and subscribe. And I've been noticing there's a lot of weird things happening in my county. So, I mean, I just have this odd feeling something strange is going to happen. But who knows? Maybe we'll figure this whole thing out until Halloween. So, see you later. And happy Halloween.